This documentary was made to represent a different variety of monsters. It will tell tales of their monsters, and it will show. I'll talk about ways to defeat them. We have several different people that will, and I will talk about them when they get to their points in the video. Hopefully, this should be a good video, and it'll be informatory. This video was made for a classical civilizations class as a final project for that, and I hope everyone that's watching it enjoys it. So let's get on to the first person. So this is our primary hunter that will show us through this specific world. He's a very useful man. He dedicates himself to his community and has killed many a beast in his realm. Now, luckily, this man will take us through this world, and he will show us and fight, and even let himself fall victim to a few of the monster's tricks, just so you can not fall victim to them yourselves. We're going to start ourselves off with these snake-like beings. They're very human, and they look very humanoid with their giant snake necks. They're very simple beings. As all dragons are weak to lightning, they are very weak to lightning themselves. As you can see, they have a large snake neck with fangs that they will occasionally wrap around their victim's head. Sadly, that is a very dangerous thing and very hard to get footage of, so there isn't any. As you can see, they've got primitive clothing, and oh, there we go, we're running to see another one now. You can see this sort of hatchet here. Just trying to use that fire to bait him in and then get him with that nice lightning. Now, these beings come in, and they're very diverse in their fighting style. A lot of them will use just the one kind of hatchet axe kind of thing. Others will use giant axes, a chained axe is used. But they come in various shapes and sizes. So as you can see, up this staircase is one of the larger ones. They also shoot fire, as you can kind of see it. Well, there's a massive fireball, and the one to the right is shooting fire at him. Now he's just coming up for a slam attack. This one's giving him a little bit of trouble by the look of it. Yeah, so those are the dragon people. Now in a completely different type of area, we're here in a Fahrenkeep swamp, and that creature right there is called a basilisk. You've probably heard of the term basilisks before. These ones are slightly different, as they're identified by their large eyes, and they have a red crown kind of thing on their belly, which is the primary way to distinguish a basilisk. Now, basilisks generally turn people to stone. Instead of doing it through their eyes, these ones do it through this mist they show. And as you can see, you'll get turned into stone if you remain in that for too long. They refer to it as curse. It is lethal. Somewhat close to Fahrenkeep Swamp, we have the Crucified Woods, which is home to very, very dangerous giant crabs. As you can see, he's hopping right in there to get a drop on him, but even the crabs immediately striking him back already. Now, most of the giant crabs in this area are the females. I'm not entirely sure on this myself, but I believe the small ones are the males, and these are the females. As you can see by the egg sacs on their lower, it's where he struck before, to weaken it up for the large attack. As you can see, they spray large compressed water, which will kind of sog your armor and apparel to weigh you down. They're just absolutely ferocious there. Look at that massive combo he's dealing. Now, see, once again, as you flipped over, you can see those egg sacs hiding behind the little thing. That's probably one of the males I passed right there. Now, as he approaches the second one, you see how territorial that thing is. That thing snaps on him without even seeing. You can sense him in his waters, and he wants him gone. There's more of that compressed water attack. Now, what you want to do is, when they do that compressed water attack, you want to get to the side and hit it as hard as you can. You really want to be hitting it in the gut, in that egg sac, because hitting it in that egg sac will just weaken it up for those massive punishing blows. See, there we go, triggering one right now, and landing a nice finisher on him. The average man you'll find in this world is actually past human. A lot of them will go undead, and will accumulate this thing called hollowing every time they would fail to do an action. Now, a true hollow is somebody who goes completely insane. They go completely feral. They've no longer got any rhyme or reason to live. They'll attack the first thing they see. Now, luckily, our guide here, he's hollowing himself, as you can see by that red splurge kind of coming out of his rib cage. It's starting to consume him. Luckily, you can remove this kind of thing with certain stones. Like right there, that's a purging stone. Using that will remove all your hollowing and make you appear human. And your hollowing will start accruing again as you begin failing actions. There are also rings used by people. The untrue dark ring will give you a human appearance, even while fully hollow. And this can be used to trick people into believing that you're one of them. And most hollows, most undead will eventually turn hollow due to lack of reason to go on. It's kind of a tragedy. Now, in the Tower of Lothric, in nearby Lothric Castle, you will find hollows that look like this. They're just kind of praying. There's a deserter attempting to shoot our man with a crossbow. Now, that host have that inside of it, a very vicious thing. It is possible to kill the host before that arises, but we wouldn't. As you can see, our guide let us get a visual on him to demonstrate this creature. They're very aggressive. You're going to need a good defense, or you want to go all out in the offense. But then again, that's very risky. As you can see, he almost fallen there just because he went for the uppercut with his sword. Now he lit his sword on fire because these things are not very keen to fire. As you can see, that he is just panicking right there. Now, what you want to do with these things is just light them on fire and hit them as many times as you can quickly. There is a stone that you can acquire that will turn yourself into this monster right here. As you can see, our host has just turned himself into a dragon. Now, sadly, this will last until you make a mistake. There's no way to reverse this process, but by using these stones that you will accrue, as you can see, that was the twinkling torso. This is the dragon head where he breathes just a puff of fire. Here comes the torso stone, which just gives a buff. It'll make you a little bit more resilient. And the headstone, which makes you breathe a giant fireball out of a giant dragon head that you conjure. Now, as you can see, this dragon, it resembles a grue, which will be shown upon later. They have two curly horns. They're very humanoid. He's got a tiny little tail there. But as you can see, his organs kind of like fall in on themselves. It's still human, but it's slowly becoming something else. Almost resembles a hollow in the fact that it's gone. It's got very small eyes, which is somewhat weird. Our next creature is it's a form of dragon. They're very strange ones. They're very small. They're capable of breathing fire. Still weak to lightning, but very, very much more resilient than their dragonkin. However, because these things are more boulder shaped, you can kick them and they roll a little bit. So as you can see, that little white thing down there is where it landed, and they're quite susceptible to fall damage. So what you generally want to do is kick them off something like that. These are the grue. They're very humanoid. As you can see, he's pointing at them right there. They've got very crude weapons. You can see that giant dagger he's wielding. They don't have too much forward through. As you can see, his shield is staggering them. Just trying to get around. They've got goat legs. They have sort of a build-up on their head, as you can kind of see, with two horns. Also, two kind of like wing-shaped things coming out of their back. Those might be extra arms or wings. They've got a tail, which is more flexible, more similar to a goat's tail than the tail that we see normally on you generally see more of a dragon or a demon's tail. And sometimes they even create primitive clothing for themselves to wear, as you can see by that cloak. Now, for the next few segments, you can see another helper, Joe, or Joe Vermeer, is going to be aiding us with the clips due to location issues with some of the beings we need to track down. Now this man is a piece of work. He has removed both of his eyes to make himself more powerful. As you can see, he's spent a lot of time enchanting his weaponry. Joe's taken a lot of now this man has created monstrosities. He's turned men into anthropomorphic beasts. As you can see, he blessed himself with the dark arts, as he's doing right there, with his giant demon wings. Actually, those are more like undead dragon wings, which you'll actually see an undead dragon later on. He's even able to clone himself, as you can see there, that big purple image before he, well, died. Now, two of the beasts that he created, they're called Pontiff beasts. There's one right over there. There's actually two in this room. That he was using the point to demonstrate to the audience, but as Joe thought we had to fight we were fighting that one first, but we aggroed both at once, which is a little spooky. And so these things, they spew lightning. They've got a weird ribcage jaw. They're very aggressive. They'll throw themselves at you. They can spin around in an instant. Here's that lightning I mentioned before. Incredibly effective. And they'll do jumps like that, which can just take you out instantly. This next creature is a type of spider demon kind of thing. They do curse damage similar to the basilisks. They're very, very weird in the fact that you can kind of see its rib cage, its legs are kind of, looks like it's upside down or it's fallen over. Try to get a good look at its face, really. See, it's got bright glowing yellow eyes, it's got mandibles, you can kind of see those. Now these are dragon souls. You can see he's pointing at them. They've got two sets of wings, smaller ones right behind the spine. They're kind of hard to see. I mean, there's a lot of them there. Here's a closer one. It's that kind of leafy part is the tail. We'll get a look at an actual one after this. You can see the different wing sets better on that one. These things are known to occasionally shoot projectiles on things that are lower than them. Now this is another ally we have taken for this video. He is a true dragon slayer, so we can get us up close and personal with an actual dragon, so we can see that. Sadly, this footage isn't the best because the person who, because all the dragons are dead in his world, the person who has requested his help for the dragon has little time dealing with it and is extinguished real quick, so the connection between their worlds is severed. As you can see, that's one. You can see the second set of wings. Very weak to lightning as well. That's why the rider does lightning, which is kind of entertaining, due to the fact that he uses the tool that's so weak against his beloved friend. Dragons can do massive damage. As you can see, that our host of embers has died. That dragon breathes immense amounts of fire. And thank you for watching this this clip. I made it for the purpose of getting a mark, but I hope that people have found it entertaining, found it interesting. Just anything you took away from it is good. And thanks for watching, guys.